pop star Rita Ora recently talked about her view on being described as selfish and how she thinks that that's not always a bad thing. Interesting, Brenda. The word selfish, I have to say, if someone said to me, "You're so selfish, Ruth," I would take that as an insult. So do you think it's something we need to look at the way we use that
I
word?
think it can be both, because I am selfish. I've got more selfish over the years for my time and for my mental health. So usually I'm a very giving person. I'm a very kind person, and I will give to everybody if I have it, which even if I don't have it, I will give. And that's selfish to me and my mental health. But, you know, a basic selfishness is, I would say, for example, my dishwasher. I'm always loading my dishwasher. I load it, but there might be 4 people in the house, but I'm always the one loading it. And I say, "Please, can you load the dishwasher?" They don't load the dishwasher. That is selfish.
That's selfish.
That's
I
selfish.
agree. But I think it's good, Janet, to be selfish sometimes with your time, to protect, you know, because I think my view of it is that I'm better at saying no than I used to be.
Well, as you get older, without implying you are getting older, Ruth, just a light nudge in the fact you are getting older, and as you get older, you do get better at doing something. What I'd say about the notion of selfishness is I do think we live in a very self-obsessed era, and the word selfie sums it all up. So the other day I was looking through all the photo albums I've got from, you know, my childhood. I've got my mum's photo albums, and I've got all of mine. And I must have about 40 or 50 photo albums. And then they suddenly stop. But in those photo albums are photos of other people doing things, laughing, having picnics, weddings, everything, communal things. And then they stop dead when the selfie starts, because with the mobile phone and the camera in the phone, then it was all focused back on ourselves, and we became obsessed with how we looked in our selfies. And I would argue that we live in an incredibly self-obsessed, selfish age, and then we can say, "Oh, well, I do things for other people." But, yeah, in what order do we do it exactly?
But I think women particularly are often quite bad at protecting their time and their...
Well, I think there's two separate things here.
And put themselves last. Maybe this is about putting yourself first sometimes.
I think what Brenda's saying is that she's more protective of her time now and what she puts out. And I think that's not necessarily selfish. You know, I mean, women do 68% of the caring in this country, so I don't think you can level selfishness at us. But at a certain age, you do, I mean, scientifically, your empathy gene decreases. And I think that's actually a good thing. That means you can go out and have a very liberated, free second part of your life, second spring, if
as long as you don't moan about being selfish.
As long as you don't moan about being selfish. But I also think that we live in an incredibly selfish world, particularly in the first world, and I think we've become increasingly so. And I do think that that's something that we should reevaluate. I mean, when you travel in other parts of the world and you see communities and the way they look out for each other, the way they look after their old, the very young, and so on, I think there are lessons that we could learn, because we are, you know, self-obsessed.
I'm not going to do British society down. I think as a country we give more to charity than anybody else in the EU.
No, we don't anymore.
We don't.
No, we don't, because it's been decreased and decreased and decreased.
But, no, I'm not talking about government spending. I'm talking about individual spending.
Sure.
I think, as a nation, British people...
I don't think charitable donations is what defines us individually as human beings.
Well, no, I think it does. I think giving...
and we don't actually give more.
We don't give more than any other country?
No, we don't.
Because we did for years.
We used to, yeah.
Yeah. I know, but that's what I'm saying. We're an increasingly selfish
But then that could be because
society.
people are struggling with their own finances and don't have it. But I think, when, you know, we've always been known as being very charitable individuals, as in people who were giving as little, as much as they could for a cause when they don't have much themselves. So I still think we are that. Whether we are still up there in terms of, you know, one of the highest charitable donations in the world, I don't know, but I know what you mean. We used to be. Anyway.